Hey there. As I stated at the end of my last video, I said I would like to take a trip towards Major League Baseball and talk about some of their biggest busts that this league has to offer. So, without further ado, let's get this going. I feel confident in starting this list with former pitcher Greg Reynolds, who was a huge bust for the Colorado Rockies and a big bust for the MLB. Greg Reynolds was drafted in 2006 with the second overall pick. His minor league numbers were decent at best, and his major league numbers were horrid. From posting a career 7 ERA over three different stints in Major League Baseball, not to mention after he was drafted number 2, other names such as Evan Longoria, Clayton Kershaw, and Max Scherzer were all drafted just a handful of picks after him. That's a tough pill to swallow for the Colorado Rockies. The next bust on my list is another pitcher by the name of Brian Bullington. He was drafted first overall back in 2002 by the Pittsburgh Pirates. Having the first overall pick in any draft is sometimes tricky, as you have more options than you know what to do with. You can select anyone you like without having the fear of a team taking him ahead of you. You can also choose to trade your number 1 pick for a handful of first-round picks. I'm not sure if Pittsburgh had the option to trade down to look forward to their future draft picks, but hindsight being 2020, I'm sure they would have taken that option. Brian Bullington had minor league stats that showcase someone who had good enough stuff to get you out, as well as numbers that could represent that he was working on some secondary pitches to help his ascension into the major leagues. His major league numbers showcase that whatever he may or may not have been working on did not work for him. He spent parts of 5 seasons with 4 different teams with a 1-9 total record and an ERA above 5.5. He never really found his groove as a starter or coming out of the bullpen. He did eventually make his way to the Japanese league and posted up some solid numbers as a starter, but his major league career was pretty much forgettable. Last on my list is Joe Borchard. Now, some of you may think that he isn't your prototypical bust, seeing as how he was drafted with the 12th pick by the Chicago White Sox in 2000. But what makes him a big bust was the fact that the White Sox gave him the biggest signing bonus out of anyone that was drafted that year. Just to throw some numbers at you, the first overall pick, who was Adrian Gonzalez, received $3 million. Joe Borchard received $5.3 million. Borchard's minor league stats were only ever decent. He made his way to the major leagues and spent 4 years with the White Sox, but most of those seasons he played less than 20 games. And the one season he played more than 20 games, he averaged less than 200. To make this all just a bit worse for all those Sox fans is just 3 picks later, the Phillies drafted a guy by the name of Chase Utley, a man who had a tremendous career and only got a signing bonus of $1.78 million. Something worth noting, though, Joe Borchard holds the White Sox record for the longest home run hit in U.S. Cellular Field at 504 feet, so he's got that. Well, those are just a handful of busts that Major League Baseball has to offer. Feel free to drop a few names in the comments section of this video of others who can officially wear the bust tag. Be on the lookout for my last bust installment as I take on the NBA and see what they have to offer. Until next time, I'm Kevin Householder.